This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Time now is 4:27 here on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick. We begin with developing news from overnight. This is the Catalina Motel located on West Washington Street near Girls School Road. A fire broke out at this motel overnight. As you can see here, fire crews working diligently to put that fire out. Dozens of people, unfortunately, now displaced after that fire. The Red Cross is working to help them out, find them alternative housing or a place to stay, and fire crews are still working to determine what exactly caused that fire. Taking a turn now, though, we want to bring in meteorologist Todd Clausen. Todd, a lot of people watching the weather closely since it is a holiday week. They might be hitting the road today a little early for their holiday. What do they need to know?
You know, the daytime hours today are dry. That's the good news. This evening, the rain arrives. So if you're traveling today, the earlier the better, if possible. Tomorrow, not so much in the way of rain, but a lot of wind is heading our way. And we'll kind of dive into this forecast in detail throughout the morning hours. But to get you going on this Tuesday morning, temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. You see radar in the center of your screen there. That is completely quiet. I'm not expecting any rain before the noon hour today, but once we get into the afternoon hours, we'll start to build in just a few very, very light spotty showers. But once we get to the evening hours, that's when that steady rain is going to develop. It's another mild day for us as temperatures climb up into the 50s. That's where we were yesterday. The difference is today, obviously, we don't have the sunshine like we had yesterday. Yesterday was terrific out there. Look for those clouds to increase pretty quickly here this morning.
Yeah, lots of people in my neighborhood putting up their Christmas lights. So I think if they have any last-minute decorations to put up outdoors, today would be the day to do that.
The earlier the better.
All right, Todd, thank you. And as we've been kind of teasing each other all week, Todd, we know you love green bean casserole. The rest of us here on Good Morning Indiana, not too big of fans.
I like it all, though.
Yes,
the
that's
stuffing,
true.
The turkey, but you're right. Green bean casserole is my favorite.
So why is that, though? Why do you like some foods and I don't like others? Well, researchers at Purdue are using spit to figure out and see if that is the reason why foods taste differently to different people. Our Kelsey Anderson got this fun task, and she's going to break down what they've learned so far and kind of give us some answers.
You know, that's interesting because I would have never thought of that, right? You know, you think it's just a preference, like, I don't like the texture, I don't like the look of this. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that story. And finally, a Call 6 Investigate story from our Kara Kenny. Imagine spending thousands of dollars on a refrigerator and then it not keeping your food cold or fresh and the ice machine not working. This is a problem for a number of Hoosiers who reached out to Kara. We're going to look into what fridges it's impacting, what you should do if this fridge is in your home.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
The future of 3 Indianapolis schools is hanging in the balance. What teachers and families are urging the state board to decide over their charters. And investigators are trying to figure out how a woman's debit card got skimmed in Zionsville. What police say you can do to protect your money. And a company based in Indiana is cutting thousands of jobs. What Cummins says is causing them to make those cuts. 4:30 here on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick. Meteorologist Todd Clausen here. And Todd, people keeping a close eye on that weather. Many people either heading to the airport today to catch a flight for Thanksgiving or hitting the road a little early.
Yeah, you know, and we'll talk about this throughout the morning, not only here locally, because you're right, everybody gets to the airport, travels. There's going to be 2 big storm systems throughout the course of this week. So I think there will be lots of issues, not so much here in central Indiana, but across the country. And we'll track those storms for you across the country, coming up mainly in my main weather. So make sure you stay with us. We'll start you off, though, here with your local forecast as you get out the door here on this Tuesday morning on this short week before Thanksgiving. It's not bad this morning. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s across the area. 43 in Bloomington as well as Indy. It's 40 currently in Tipton and Richmond. One of the cooler spots at 36 degrees. The skies are partly cloudy. I saw plenty of stars on my drive into work here this morning. That's the first thing I do when I walk out the door. I always look up to see what kind of sky cover we have, and I could see it in my backyard. So here are the clear skies. Just a few fair weather clouds, and that is just about it. So you'll hear the mention of rain in the forecast for the day today. Just know that most of this precipitation is not not arrive until after sunset. So until then, we start off with the sunshine, then the clouds increase, and then eventually some of that precipitation heads in our direction. But by the time it arrives here, our temperatures are all the way up into the mid-50s, and that's going to result in just a rain event for us. But we'll see a steady rain develop after 4 or 5 o'clock. So if you do have plans this evening, make sure you have that umbrella handy. And then it's all about the wind in tomorrow's forecast. We'll talk more about that, Meredith, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look right now at I-70 at Sherman Drive. Just a few cars and trucks out there to kick off your Tuesday morning. We are going to take a turn now and check out I-70 west of FedEx. This is right near the airport. As you can see, if you are heading off for one of the first flights out of I&D this morning, you should be good to go in that area. The future of 3 Indianapolis schools are uncertain after Indianapolis Public Schools voted to part ways with a charter school group. A state board is set to decide who will be in charge of these local schools. RTV6's Cornelius Hawker shows you how the community is working to get the board to side in their favor.
We are proud of our school.
At a public hearing Monday night, dozens of people came to Manual High School hoping their opinion would have an impact on the state charter schools board.
We're a family. We're a home for these kids. They are our babies. And I can't think of anywhere that's better for them than here.
Brittany Yanashik is a teacher at Manual. She's one of the people who hopes the state charter schools board will grant a charter to her school and the others.
These kids know that they can come to their teachers whenever they need to about any issue. We will help them, even if it's not our primary content area.
In the case to continue running Manual, along with Emma Donna and Howe as public charter schools, those in charge boasted about taking the schools from an F grade, which is failing, to schools that are now passing with a grade of C. But those stats and others are being questioned by some.
36 out of 50 Manual High School students have been directed to homeschool. They are counted as homeschoolers instead of dropouts.
Aaron Schoutz got this information from a September Chalkbeat story. In part, the article shows the amount of homeschoolers rose significantly for Manual once Charter Schools USA took over. Aaron believes the reason for the rise is to make the schools look better than they actually are, something school officials deny.
We have very, very little trust for what they're reporting, and we have very little trust for the care that they're giving the students and the families here.
Both sides now await what the State Charter Schools Board will decide.
I just really hope that the board recognizes what we're trying to do and gives us a chance to keep doing it.
While we have the utmost respect for the educators and the staff here, we have major issues with the administration, with the management.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
Cornelius, thank you. Investigators are trying to figure out how a woman's debit card was skimmed somewhere in Zionsville. Lindsay Maldonado says her debit card was declined over the weekend, and when she checked the balance, her account was cleared out. She says her card was never lost, and she thinks someone stole her card information by using a skimmer. Officials can't say where that skimmer might have been located, but when Lindsay posted about the situation on Facebook, at least 7 other people from Zionsville said they also caught suspicious charges on their cards.
Very surprised, just because it all happened like within a week or so of each other, so it makes you think that there's someone targeting like this area.
Card skimmers are often found on gas pumps. Zionsville police say to make sure you always use well at gas stations and ATMs with security cameras. You can also use a credit card if you're concerned to avoid giving thieves access to your checking account. Police also recommend checking your account statements regularly. A Fortune 500 company based in central Indiana plans to eliminate thousands of jobs. Cummins says it will cut its global workforce by approximately 2,000 people by early next year. The engine maker says demand has dropped faster than expected. Cummins is headquartered in Columbus with about 62,000 employees worldwide. Around 10,000 work here in Indiana. This morning, we have a big alert for downtown drivers. Next week, Illinois Street will close between McCarty and South Streets. Citizens Energy Group will complete construction work on Lower Pogues Run Tunnel, which is part of the Dig Indy Tunnel system. Citizens Energy says it will begin on or after December 2nd and last until July. Detour signs will be in place to help you get around. An Indianapolis couple is giving back to the community, donating 25 Thanksgiving meals to families who might otherwise go without a feast this Thursday. Charlene and Jomo Cole credit each other with seeing a need in the community and forming a solution with a Thanksgiving food giveaway. The Coles are serving the Near East Side community of Center Township, which is home to many IPS students who qualify for free and reduced lunch. They say the cost of the often large Thanksgiving feast is too expensive for many Indianapolis families.
A lot of them told me stories like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a mother, and everybody come to my house, and I got all these grandkids, and I got $15 in food stamps plus $1. I was like, what? That ain't even the price of a turkey.
In its annual survey, Farm Bureau estimates a Thanksgiving meal will cost families $48.91 this year. The Indiana Fever will have new leadership this season. They are set to name their new head coach this morning. The team fired their previous head coach, Pokey Chapman, in September after a 13-21 losing season. A press conference is scheduled for 11 this morning to make the announcement. When the 2020 Fever season begins, the new coach will not be on the sidelines at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The team will be playing home games in 2020 and part of 2021 at Butler's Hinkle Fieldhouse as Bankers Life undergoes a major renovation. Some bad news for the Colts this morning. Tight end Eric Ebron is out for the season with an ankle injury and needs surgery. So far this season, he has played in all 11 games, scoring 3 touchdowns. The Colts have signed Ross Travis to fill his spot. A winter storm is already causing problems for thousands of holiday travelers. How the severe weather could affect your Thanksgiving plans. And McDonald's has reached a settlement after being accused of underpaying its workers. The claims being made by thousands against the fast food chain. Todd.
And that storm Meredith was just talking about is in Colorado here this morning. You can see the snow from Denver into parts of Nebraska, and that is heading our way. We will not see the snow, but it brings us quite a bit of rainfall starting tonight and then a lot of wind for tomorrow. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:38. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV 6.
Down, 0 deposit, 0 first month, and 0 due at signing.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 4:41 here on your Tuesday, and this is a live look at traffic on the south side, I-65 and Southport Road. Traffic here is moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound. No issues to slow you down.
A major storm is causing Thanksgiving travel troubles for millions of Americans. More than a foot of snow is expected in the Rockies before the storm moves into the Midwest. ABC's Kenneth Moten has more.
Overnight, whiteout conditions near Denver as a major storm slams the Rockies. More than a foot of snow is possible just as the Thanksgiving travel rush begins. Denver's airport is expecting nearly 200,000 travelers today alone. A record 31.6 million passengers are expected to fly nationwide over the holiday.
It's the double whammy. We have weather coming and then the holiday.
The snow will spread from Colorado to the Midwest today, where people are preparing for Thanksgiving dinner early.
I've got chains for my car. So
we have plenty of wine.
Lots of wine, yeah, and a bulldozer.
Sounds like you're set.
I think so.
Meanwhile, overnight on the West Coast.
As you can see, the fires crossed 154, and now it's going down this canyon.
This wind-fueled wildfire forcing more evacuations near Santa Barbara, just as a storm being called historic and unprecedented takes shape in the Pacific. Hurricane-force winds will batter the Northern California and Oregon coastlines beginning tonight. In Central California, a dust storm is being blamed for this chain reaction crash. And back east in New York, rehearsals now underway for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But the big question remains, will the famous balloons be grounded? Wind gusts are expected to reach 40 miles per hour Thursday, which would be enough to ground them for the first time since 1971. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
All right, and the wind that Kenneth was talking about in New York City for that parade, we are going to be dealing with that tomorrow. So it gets here a day before it gets to New York. Today, though, is kind of the day before all the winds, and we have some weather issues in the forecast for this afternoon as well. 43 degrees, that is the current temperature outside right now. The wind, not too much of an issue, so your day gets off on this Tuesday to a pretty good start with temperatures that are in the 30s and 40s, 47 right now in Martinsville as well as Greencastle, 37 in Lafayette with just a few clouds out there. And that is just about it. Otherwise, we are looking at clear skies here this morning. You'll need the sunglasses to start the day. You'll need the umbrella to finish the day, because here's what's going on. Big storm system off to our west right now. Some heavy snow just to the east of Denver. So if you're traveling through Denver or to Denver here during the day today, especially this morning, make sure you check with your airline. But this storm system is eventually going to start to head in our direction. The snow is going to move through Nebraska and eventually up into portions of Minnesota. For us, though, we are on the warm side of this system. Our temperatures today are going to be climbing all the way up into the 50s, so there's no threat of any wintry precipitation in our forecast. The first half of the day is the brighter part of the day, with temperatures warming quickly up to 50 degrees with increasing clouds by 11 a.m. Should be mostly cloudy by the noon hour, with temperatures climbing into the mid-50s, and then it's really not until this evening that the steady rain moves in, but there could be a spot shower or two here in the 3 and 4 o'clock hour before that steady rain develops. So here's how it plays out for you hour by hour on TrueCast. Again, increasing clouds throughout the course of the afternoon with just a stray shower here or there. Once we get past sunset, which is a little before 5:30, that's when the steady rain starts to move in from west to east. Once the rain moves in, it's heavy at times this evening and into the overnight hours. Do not be shocked if you hear a rumble of thunder as this system makes its way through during the overnight hours. We're not expecting severe weather, but what will happen as this system moves in, and then even after it departs, is the wind will really start to kick in. A high wind watch is in place for the entire day tomorrow for almost all of central Indiana. That'll get broken down by the Weather Service into either wind advisory or a high wind warning for tomorrow. So today, it's really just all about the rain that'll develop this evening. Tomorrow, it's about the wind. Here is that storm system as it develops. We'll show you the big picture here in case you're traveling. The rain moves in here. There's the snow through Minneapolis as well as Omaha, but the rain extends all the way into Michigan and through Chicago. So Chicago is going to be on the warm side of this system. Here are the wind gusts for tomorrow. Again, 30 to 45 mile per hour winds tomorrow, and that's why that high wind watch is in place. Those winds are strong enough to bring down some branches here and disrupt air travel. Thanksgiving Day itself is pretty quiet, mostly cloudy at 42, and then another storm system brings snow and rain to the area for Saturday and Sunday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a live look to our west near the airport. We're keeping a close eye on traffic in this area on I-70, and that's because we know it's going to be a busy travel week ahead of the holiday this week. Today, not supposed to be too crazy, but we still want to keep a look at I-70 west of the airport ramps. Everything's traveling up to speed, so that's great news if you're heading out there early this morning, even to drop someone off. Let's take a look, though, at our traffic now maps. Taking you up here across town, this is on southbound I-69. You can see a little bit of a delay here in the southbound lanes, a 23-minute commute right now from State Road 38 to I-465, so a little bit of a delay as you're getting towards the State Road 37 area. Overall, everything there is traveling up to speed once you get past that, so I don't think it'll slow you down too much. Let's take a look right now in the downtown area, I-65 and I-70 here at the North Split. Traffic is picking up already at this early hour, traveling up to speed. No issues here for your commute.
Right now, White House officials are working on a public report outlining the president's impeachment hearing. It will help determine whether President Trump is guilty of withholding $400 million in aid from Ukraine to investigate Democratic rival Joe Biden. After days of testimony, political analysts say Democrats are poised to vote for Trump's impeachment, while Republicans will stand with him. The report is expected to be released as soon as next week.
McDonald's has agreed to pay $26 million to settle a dispute over accusations that it underpaid staff. Some California workers sued the company in 2013. They accused McDonald's of not giving overtime pay and denying timely breaks. The class action suit represents about 38,000 people. In addition to the multi-million-dollar settlement, McDonald's says it will also train employees at California locations about their employee rights.
A 5-year-old boy thrown off a balcony this spring has made a miraculous recovery. Landon was at the Mall of America in Minnesota with his mom when police say Emmanuel Aranda picked him up and threw him over the third-story railing. Landon was in the hospital for months and underwent extensive physical therapy. He is now back in school and walking. The family-run GoFundMe account for Landon has been keeping folks updated on his progress. Aranda was sentenced to 19 years in prison.
People in Mississippi no longer have to cross state lines in order to play the lottery. Scratch-off tickets are now on sale in the entire state of Mississippi. Next year, people there will also be able to buy Powerball and Mega Millions tickets. The state didn't have lottery for years because of strong opposition from churches. Legislation passed back in 2018 that changed that, but they weren't the only ones without a lottery. Alabama Alabama, Alaska, Hawaii, Nevada, and Utah still do not have a state lottery.
And if you win the lottery, you can buy one of these. Despite the failure in its unbreakable windows, Tesla has already racked up thousands of pre-orders on its electric Cybertruck. Elon Musk announced on Twitter that the electric version already has 200,000 orders. The Cybertruck starts at just under $40,000, but most pre-orders are more expensive. Production doesn't begin until 2021, so it gives Tesla some time to work out the kinks. During its unveiling, Musk attempted to demonstrate the truck's durability, but its supposedly unbreakable windows shattered when struck by a metal ball.
Many middle and high school students dread dissecting a frog in class, but thanks to a new invention, they don't have to use real frogs anymore. A school in Florida is now using a synthetic frog. The company called Syndaver already had synthetic humans and other models used at colleges, but PETA gave the company $150,000 to develop a frog. They say 1 million frogs are killed in classrooms every year. Now the developers say the model is even better than the real thing.
This technology is something that mimics not just look and feel, but density and chemical properties to a certain extent. The tissues were developed to perform like real life tissues, so they do.
The synthetic frogs cost about $150 each, a lot more than a real frog, as you can imagine, but developers say these are reusable and chemical-free.
A driver got pulled over while driving a banana car, but received something much different than a ticket. After the break, why the officer says he wanted to do a good deed.
From printing to plastics, the school with its own company preparing young people for jobs in high demand. That story next on RTV6.
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, we are live in Fort Myers, Florida for Florida versus Mark Sievers. Mark Sievers accused of masterminding the murder of his own wife, Dr. Teresa Sievers. Prosecutors continue to put in their evidence, trying to link Sievers to the case, despite the fact that he was nowhere near the scene of the crime at the time of the murder. We are live in Fort Myers today on Court TV.
And don't forget, you can watch all new Court TV live right on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. It is 4:51. We'll be right back.
Still the only one cats ask for by name.
Welcome back. Time right now is 4:55. Here's a live look in the downtown area. I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Traffic here is moving along up to speed this morning. No issues to slow you down.
An officer in Michigan pulled over a banana car, and instead of giving him a ticket, he gave him cash. Check this out. The driver, Steve Braithwaite, has spent the past 2 years driving his homemade banana-shaped convertible across America. He offers pay-what-you-can rides in the car to fund his road trips. After explaining the banana adventure, the trooper took Braithwaite's license and came back with a $20 bill. The officer says he is just a few months away from retirement and wanted to do a good deed. It's a good thing that driver didn't split. Otherwise, he probably would have gotten a ticket, Lauren.
Yep. Well, you may have heard about that cloned sheep named Dolly. We all remember her, but you can now clone your pets. Listen to this. A family in Arizona used technology to create another version of their dog, Sally. The company called Viagen uses skin biopsy to culture cells and then send them to a lab. The cells are then implanted into a surrogate, like in vitro fertilization. So now the family has Sally 2.0. Viagen says it costs about $50,000 to clone a dog and $35,000 to clone a cat. I don't really like this. Not the same thing. And
I love my Gypsy so much, but that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great dogs in the shelter. They may be a little different, but they might have a different personality.
Exactly.
And we can all use a little bit of that. All right, Todd, we know you're not going to be cloning any pets. You just got to get the first one before then, right?
Right. Can you clone goldfish?
Yeah.
Outside right now, we're dealing with quiet conditions, and much of the day here during the daytime hours will be quiet. There could be a few afternoon showers, but most of the rain is this evening after sunset. It's warm today, up to 57 degrees. Tomorrow, still mild, but becomes very, very windy throughout the day. And then Thanksgiving Day, mostly cloudy and a temperature of 42 degrees. We'll talk more about the forecast for Thanksgiving coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.